Sometimes the smallest things we do every day become so automatic. We stop questioning them, like brushing your teeth, taking a walk, or stepping into a warm bath. Now, I want to ask you something. And please, really think about it. Have you or someone you love ever felt a little more tired after a bath? Maybe a little dizzy stepping out of the tub? Or your skin feels tighter, itchier these days? I've seen this happen more times than I can count. And not just in strangers, in my own family. My mother, bless her, was 85 when she started noticing little changes. She loved her routines, especially her daily hot bath. It was her me time. She'd always say, "I feel fresh and clean after a good soak." But that winter, something shifted. She started needing to sit down after bathing. Her skin looked dry and irritated, no matter how much lotion she used. And one chilly morning, she nearly fainted while stepping out of the tub. That moment shook us. Because here's what I want to share with you today, with deep care and without alarm. Daily bathing after 70, especially the way we've always done it, can quietly harm our health. And for many of us, no one has ever told us this truth. We grew up believing cleanliness is next to godliness. A daily bath is a sign of good hygiene, right? But after 70, our bodies change. The rules that once worked in our 30s, 40s, even 50s, may no longer serve us. I've spent over 40 years caring for older adults, and what I've seen is that simple habits, like bathing, when done without awareness, can sometimes lead to heart stress, dangerous falls, skin problems, and even weaken our immune system. Now, I'm not here to frighten you. I'm here to empower you, to help you and your loved ones make small adjustments so that bathing remains a safe, soothing part of your life, not a hidden risk. And if this conversation touches you, if you find yourself nodding along or thinking of someone in your life, I invite you to click the like button or leave a comment when we share openly. We help others in this wonderful, vibrant elders community feel less alone. Now, if you'll allow me, I'd like to begin by talking about one of the biggest hidden dangers that no one really warns us about: the effect of hot baths on the heart. Let me paint you a picture. It's a chilly morning. You turn on the hot water. The steam fills the bathroom. You step in, and at first, it feels wonderful. But inside your body, something else is happening. When your skin is exposed to hot water, your blood vessels rapidly expand. That sudden dilation causes your blood pressure to drop, sometimes fast. If you're young, your body adjusts quickly. You might feel a little flushed, but no big deal. But if you're over 70, and especially if you have high blood pressure, heart disease, or circulation issues, your body may struggle to compensate. Your heart starts working harder to push blood through those widened vessels. That's why many older adults feel lightheaded after a hot bath, or worse, may faint. I'll never forget a gentleman I cared for, Mr. Harrison. He was 90, full of life, still tending his garden. Every day, he'd take a long, hot bath, said it kept him young. One winter morning, his daughter found him collapsed on the bathroom floor. He'd suffered a heart event triggered by the strain of a hot bath. He survived, but he never bathed alone again. And the family made simple but life-saving changes. You see, after 70, our nervous system doesn't regulate blood pressure as efficiently. The transition from hot water to cooler air can cause what's called orthostatic hypotension, a dangerous drop in blood pressure. And here's something few people know. When an older person bathes in water hotter than about 104 degrees Fahrenheit, the cardiovascular strain can be equivalent to doing light exercise, except they're standing in a slippery environment. It's a recipe for trouble. But here's the good news: with a few mindful changes, we can greatly reduce this risk. First, keep your bathwater warm, not hot, around 100 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Test it with your wrist. It should feel comfortable, not scalding. Second, limit your time. 10 minutes is more than enough to cleanse and relax without overstressing your heart. Third, hydrate. Drink a glass of water before and after your bath. Dehydration makes blood pressure drops more likely. Fourth, consider sitting while bathing. A sturdy shower chair provides safety and reduces the risk of slipping. And most importantly, if you're over 80 or have health concerns, never bathe alone. Let someone know you're bathing, or use a bath alert device. Now, you might be thinking, but I love my hot baths. They're part of my routine. And I hear you, so did my mother. It wasn't easy for her to change at first. But once she started making these small adjustments, not only did she feel safer, she felt more relaxed after bathing. No more dizziness, no more worry about falling. And that peace of mind? That's priceless. Now, as we reflect on this, I want you to think, could a simple shift in your bathing habits, or those of someone you love, bring more safety and ease into daily life? Because that's the heart of today's conversation. It's not about giving something up. It's about honoring how your body has changed and adapting with love. And speaking of honoring your body, there's another quiet danger many don't realize: how daily bathing can affect your skin after 70. Let's talk about that next. And speaking of honoring your body, there's another quiet danger many don't realize: how daily bathing can affect your skin after 70. Now, this is something I wish more people talked about, because what I've seen, again and again, is that older adults begin struggling with their skin, and they don't always know why. Let me share the story of Margaret, one of my longtime patients. She's 78, a warm, kind woman who loves spending time with her grandchildren. For as long as she could remember, she bathed every single morning, a habit from her younger days that gave her a sense of freshness and pride. But one winter, Margaret began having terrible itching on her arms and legs. Her skin felt tight, flaky, sometimes burning. She started applying lotion, the thickest kind she could find, but nothing seemed to help. When she came to see me, her first words were, "Doctor, I just don't know what's happening. I'm doing everything right. I wash every day, I moisturize, but my skin feels worse and worse." And that's when we had the conversation, one I've had with many of my patients over the years. You see, after 70, our skin changes in ways that aren't always visible at first. The natural oils that once kept our skin supple begin to decline. In fact, by this age, our skin produces only about half the moisture it did when we were younger. So when you step into a hot shower or bath every day, and scrub with soap, especially on areas like your arms, legs, or back, you're not just washing away dirt. You're stripping away what little protection your skin has left. And once that barrier is gone, it's like leaving your skin exposed to the wind. It dries, cracks, and becomes vulnerable to infection. That's exactly what had happened to Margaret. Under the microscope, we saw tiny micro tears in her skin. And here's the thing: she had no idea that her very effort to stay clean was causing this damage. Now, here's something else we need to understand. When your skin barrier is compromised, it's not just about comfort. It's about safety. I've seen seniors hospitalized from skin infections that began with nothing more than an itch or a small crack. For older adults, the immune system isn't as strong as it once was, and skin infections can quickly escalate. So what did Margaret and I do? We made a few small but powerful changes to her bathing routine. First, we reduced her baths to 3 times a week. Now, I know this can sound surprising, especially if you've spent your life believing in daily bathing. But trust me, your skin needs time to restore its natural oils. Less really is more here. Second, we talked about where soap is truly needed. Most of the body doesn't require scrubbing with soap every time you bathe. Focus on the essential areas: your underarms, groin, and feet. For the rest, warm water and a soft washcloth will do beautifully. Third, we switched her to a gentle, pH-balanced cleanser. Most commercial soaps are far too harsh, disrupting the skin's natural pH and stripping its barrier. Margaret started using a mild cleanser formulated for mature skin, and within weeks, she noticed a difference. And perhaps most importantly, we introduced the golden 3-minute rule. Right after bathing, within 3 minutes, Margaret applied a ceramide-rich moisturizer. This step locks in moisture when the skin is most receptive. I'll never forget her smile a month later. "Doctor," she said, "I can finally enjoy being with my grandkids again without wanting to scratch my arms off." Now, why am I sharing Margaret's story with you? Because so many older adults are in the same boat, and they don't even realize it. They think their skin problems are just part of aging, when in fact, small changes in their bathing habits could make all the difference. And it's not about giving something up. It's about giving your skin, this precious organ that protects you every day, the care and respect it deserves. But there's another piece of this puzzle we need to talk about, and it's one that weighs heavily on my heart. You see, many of the most serious injuries I've seen among seniors haven't come from illness. They've come from falls in the bathroom. And the time after bathing is one of the riskiest of all. Let me tell you about Mr. Leonard. He was 88, a proud World War II veteran, fiercely independent. One winter morning, after his usual hot bath, he stepped out of the tub. The combination of slippery floors, lower blood pressure from the heat, and decreased muscle strength caught up with him, and in an instant, he was on the floor with a fractured hip. Now, the surgery went well, but Leonard never regained his former mobility. He needed a walker. He lost the ability to live fully on his own. And most heartbreaking of all, he lost the confidence that had carried him so far through life. His daughter told me later, through tears, "Doctor, I wish we had known. We thought the bath was helping him stay strong. But it took so much away. And this is something I want us to take to heart. Bathroom falls are not rare accidents. Studies show that 38% of falls among older adults happen during or right after bathing. And for seniors over 80 who suffer a hip fracture, the one-year mortality rate is shockingly high, 1 in 4. But here's the hopeful part. Most of these accidents are preventable. Simple changes can turn your bathroom from a danger zone into a space of safety and comfort. In our family, after my mother's near fall, we made some adjustments. We installed non-slip mats inside and outside the tub. We added sturdy grab bars near the shower and toilet. We encouraged her to sit on a shower chair while bathing. And most importantly, we slowed everything down. No more rushing. No more standing up too quickly after a warm bath. These are small steps, but they make all the difference. Because here's what I want for you. Not just to live longer, but to live well, to bathe with comfort, dignity, and safety, to protect the independence and confidence that matter so deeply. And speaking of protection, there's one more hidden risk I want us to talk about, something many seniors and their families overlook. It has to do with how your body manages temperature after bathing. Especially in winter. Let's explore that together next. Now, about that risk we so often overlook, how our body handles temperature after bathing. Especially as we age. You see, when we're young, the body has a remarkable ability to regulate temperature. Step out of a warm bath into a cooler room? The body adjusts in moments. But after 70, well, the body needs a little more help. This is something I saw firsthand with a lovely woman named Helen, who was 92 and sharp as a tack. Helen loved her nightly warm bath. It was her moment of relaxation at the end of the day. But one particularly cold January evening, something unexpected happened. Helen lingered in her bath, feeling so cozy in the warmth. Then she stepped out, didn't dry off completely, and sat in her chilly bedroom afterward, thinking nothing of it. Within an hour, her daughter found her confused, shaking. Her body temperature had dropped to a dangerously low 94.1 degrees Fahrenheit. She was on the edge of hypothermia. Thankfully, they got her to the hospital in time. But that night left a deep impression on her family and on me. The truth is, as we age, our bodies lose up to 40% of their ability to manage temperature changes. That means what once felt like a harmless chill after bathing can now trigger real danger. And it happens quietly. Seniors often don't feel how cold they're becoming until it's too late. But the good news? There's so much we can do to stay safe. One of the first things I teach my patients is this: always warm the bathroom first. Use a small space heater or let warm air circulate before stepping in. That way, when you leave the bath, the room doesn't feel like an icy shock to your system. Next, dry off immediately and thoroughly, no lingering in a damp towel. Any moisture left on your skin evaporates and pulls heat away with it. It's the same principle as sweating, but after a bath, you want to retain warmth, not lose it. Helen's daughter told me later, "I used to think the warm towel was enough. Now we make sure mom is fully dry and in her robe right away, and she feels so much better." And speaking of robes, don't underestimate dressing warmly after bathing. Even if you don't feel cold at first, your body temperature can drop gradually. Warm socks, a long-sleeved shirt, and a cozy robe can make all the difference. And please, don't forget to dry your hair. Wet hair can wick heat from your scalp quickly, leaving you vulnerable. There's also a small habit that brings a lot of comfort: drinking something warm after your bath. A cup of tea, warm water with lemon, even warm milk helps stabilize your body temperature from the inside out. Plus, it turns your post-bath routine into a soothing ritual. And here's one more tip that surprises many. Choose the right time of day to bathe. I often recommend bathing between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. That's when your home, and the outside world, is warmest. Morning baths can shock the body when the air is still chilly. Evening baths, though relaxing, can leave you vulnerable to nighttime cold. I had one patient, Mr. Stanley, who loved his 8 p.m. baths. But during winter, we noticed he often felt chilled afterward and had trouble sleeping. When we shifted his bath to mid-afternoon, his body handled the change much better, and his sleep improved. 2. Now, I know some of you may be thinking, Doctor, these changes sound small. Do they really make a difference? Let me tell you. Yes, they do. In fact, they can be life-saving. Every winter, I've seen cases like Helen's, where a simple bath led to dangerous hypothermia. But I've also seen how a few mindful adjustments can keep seniors safe and comfortable. And that brings me to something even more surprising, something I wish every family understood about bathing as we age. It's this: being too clean can sometimes do more harm than good. Yes, you heard me right. For generations, we've been taught that staying perfectly clean is the key to staying healthy. But after 70, there's another part of the equation we need to consider: the health of your skin's natural defenses. You see, your skin is more than just a protective covering. It's home to a living community of good bacteria, your skin's microbiome. These tiny allies help fight off harmful invaders and keep your skin strong. But here's the catch: frequent scrubbing, especially with harsh soaps, strips away this natural shield. That's exactly what happened with another patient of mine, Margaret, an 83-year-old who prided herself on staying immaculately clean. She bathed daily, scrubbing from head to toe with antibacterial soap. But by midwinter, her skin was a mess: red, inflamed, painful. She came to me desperate, saying, "Doctor, I don't understand. I'm doing everything right. Why is my skin falling apart?" When we examined her, it was clear. Her skin's microbiome had been stripped away. Her natural defenses were gone. Tiny cracks had formed, opening the door for infection. And here's what the research shows: older adults who bathe daily with soap have up to 35% lower skin immunity than those who bathe just 2 to 3 times per week. Now, I want to be clear. This doesn't mean giving up bathing. It means bathing wisely. Here's what I teach all my patients, and what Margaret and I worked on together. First, limit bathing to 2 to 3 times per week. This gives your skin time to replenish its oils and rebuild its defenses. Second, avoid antibacterial soaps. They kill good bacteria along with the bad, and they're rarely necessary for everyday hygiene. Third, use a gentle, pH-balanced cleanser, one that respects your skin's natural acidity. This helps preserve your microbiome. Fourth, apply soap only where it's truly needed: underarms, groin, feet. The rest of your body can be gently cleansed with warm water and a soft cloth. And finally, maintain healthy indoor humidity. Dry air, especially in winter, pulls moisture from your skin. A simple humidifier can make a world of difference. Margaret followed this new routine faithfully. Within weeks, her skin began to heal. More importantly, her confidence returned. "Doctor," she told me with a smile, "I feel comfortable in my own skin again." And that, my friends, is what I want for each of you. Bathing should be a ritual of comfort, not a hidden risk. And when we understand how our bodies change with age, and how to care for them with wisdom and love, we can turn this simple act into a source of nourishment, not harm. Now, before we close, I want to share one more story, a letter I received from a viewer named Jim. It's a story that speaks to the heart of everything we've talked about today. That letter I mentioned, it came from a man named Jim, one of our longtime Vibrant Elders viewers. His story touched me so deeply, and I think it perfectly sums up what we've been talking about. Jim wrote to tell me about his mother, Ruth, who was 86. She had always been very proud of her daily bath, said it made her feel refreshed, dignified. But over the winter, Jim noticed she was struggling. Her skin became terribly dry. She was unsteady after bathing, And more than once, she seemed chilled afterward, no matter how warm the house was. Jim said, "Doctor, we were doing everything we thought was right, but her bath routine seemed to be wearing her down." Then Jim found one of our videos, and it changed everything. Together, he and Ruth adjusted her routine. They reduced bathing to 3 times a week. They switched to a gentle, pH-balanced cleanser. Ruth began moisturizing immediately after bathing. They used a shower chair and added grab bars. And perhaps most importantly, they made the bath a shared ritual. Ruth's daughter or Jim would be nearby to help, offer a warm cup of tea afterward, and make sure she was comfortable. Jim wrote, "Doctor, I can't tell you what a difference it made. Mom's skin improved, her energy stabilized, but even more, she felt cared for, loved. She knew we were doing this with her, not to her." That, my friends, is exactly what I hope you take from this conversation. Because this isn't just about temperature, or falls, or skin. It's about honoring our bodies as they change, and turning everyday rituals into moments of gentle care and connection. I often say to my patients, after 70, we don't stop learning, and we don't stop deserving care that honors who we are today, not who we were 20 years ago. And yes, bathing is a small thing, but approached with wisdom, it can bring great comfort. Approached without awareness, it can cause real harm. So today, I invite you to think about your own routine, or that of someone you love. Could you turn this act into a safer, more nourishing ritual? Could you embrace a few simple changes? Lower the water temperature, limit bath frequency, focus soap where needed, moisturize thoughtfully, warm the room, slow down and take your time, and ask for help when needed, knowing that accepting help is a sign of strength, not weakness. These are small steps, but together, they can help you or your loved one stay vibrant, safe, and independent much longer. And please remember, aging is not about loss. It's about living with greater awareness, greater compassion, and greater joy. Your body is still carrying you through each new day. Treat it with the kindness and respect it deserves. As one wise patient once told me, "Doctor, after 80, I see every little choice as a love letter to my future self." Isn't that beautiful? Every gentle choice you make today is a gift to the you of tomorrow. Now, before we close, I'd love to ask you something. What is one change you might make in your own bathing routine, or help a loved one make? Please share in the comments below. When you do, you might just inspire someone else in this community to take that first step. And if this conversation resonated with you, if you found even one helpful insight, please consider liking this video, subscribing to Vibrant Elders, and turning on notifications. It helps us reach more seniors and families who can benefit from this kind of practical, compassionate wisdom. Because here at Vibrant Elders, we believe aging is not about fear, it's about empowerment. It's about learning new ways to honor and care for these amazing bodies that have carried us so far. And it's about doing it together, as a community where no one walks this path alone. So I thank you, truly, for sharing this time with me today. As you move forward, may you do so with a little more knowledge, a little more compassion, and a lot more love for yourself and those you hold dear. Remember, you are never too old to adapt, to learn, or to care for yourself with deep wisdom. Until next time, stay safe, stay wise, and always, stay vibrant.